What's up everybody, Emperor John Kill 3D Gaming here with another video, and let's take a look back at Warhammer 40K Inquisitor Martyr. This dropped June 5th of 2018, so 8 years ago, and this was one of the very few games that I started to get into the Warhammer series with. I started to get into it with, what the fuck was that game? Space Hulk Deathwing, Dawn of War. I was playing Chaos Bane. I was getting into Warhammer until I played this. I was introduced to this game right here by my buddy Beatmaster, who is a huge Warhammer fan. And he put me onto this game because he knows that I like playing Diablo style games. It's odd. I don't really enjoy the Diablo series itself, but I do enjoy games that have the top-down style of combat, the top style open world, the top-down style of, RPG. So, I do enjoy the style. I just don't oddly play Diablo to get that fix. It's weird. Now, with Inquisitor Martyr, you get to start the game with not a preset class, but you get to create your own class based off of different aspects of characters, known as a Crusader. You play as a Psyker, an Assassin, a Tech Adept, and a Battle Sister. Different characters from different backgrounds of the Warhammer lore, and you pick one of them, you pick a subclass within that class, and then you get going. Because then you'll get a little indication of what these characters can do during the tutorial. And most of your missions are going to be done from your ship known as the Well, I don't think your ship's called the Martyr. I think you're hunting a ship, or you're hunting something called the Martyr. And this game has so much in it. I mean, it can be when you first start, it could be kind of overwhelming. Especially when you're doing it alone. But the good thing about this game is that you can play this game up to 2-player co-op online. And I think, pardon me, that was a yawn. And I think either, is it local co-op or just online co-op? I've played online co-op a few times. I don't know if it's local, but I do know you can play co-op in one way or another. And it feels really fun to just go to different worlds. Like, there's plethora of planets, missions, objectives. It's almost like the game is running on a system or an engine that constantly gives you missions to do. Very similar to, I forgot the game. It's like the Diablo. It's like similar to playing, not Diablo, playing Doom. It's like the Doom version of Warhammer. I forgot what the fucking game was. I just know you play as a bounty hunter, you have a Mastiff, and you play in the Hive under cities of, a mega city or Hive city or whatever. I just forgot the name of it. Now it's gonna fucking, when it pops up, it pops up. I'll mention it when it pops up. But there is so many skills, so many abilities, so many items. You can, really craft so many different builds in this game alone. And you will get, thrown off the beaten path. And when you get thrown off the beaten path, that's when it gets interesting, because then you're always going to be looking for something to do outside the main mission. It's wild, how much stuff there really is to do in this game. There's just an overwhelming amount of stuff to do, to play, to, everything is gonna prevent you from going down the beaten path. Oh, it crossed my mind what the game I was talking about. Necromunda Hired Gun. That game will generate so many different missions for you. That's what this game does. There we go. Now that it hit me, it was Necromunda Hired Gun. And the different modes, there's siege modes, there's just exterminatus type stuff, there's assassination missions, there's rescue missions, there's just missions that are all out war in the middle, where you have troops with you, You could be alone in some missions as a one-man army, but it feels so good just going through the levels and purging it of all these filthy enemies, these filthy Xenos that are in your way. The game sounds great. It looks really good. It had even got a next generation patch about I think a year or so ago. I want to don't quote me on that. I forgot how. I just know that it got an upgraded patch because that's when I started playing it again. When this upgraded patch came through, and the game is still going strong with content. I think you don't pay for the content. I think the content is free updates with missions and other things related to it. Please forgive that I'm yawning because I did not sleep very well, so yeah, I might be a little exhausted, but I wanted to make this video just like how I made the other look back video, which was on Assassin's Creed Black Flag. But Inquisitor Martyr is a game that me and my co-host we also were looking forward to getting back into because it was just so fun for us to just get in and just start blasting enemies away. There's a diverse set of characters that you meet, that you speak with, hell, that communicate with you through your comm in the middle of the war. And all these levels are so unique looking. Like, no two levels look the same. It's very rare when you get a level that looks like another level that you think you recognize, but no, the layout is different, the pattern is different, you may be starting from a different direction, there's different enemies. The levels feel different. They feel unique every time you play them. And you never know what kind of level you're going to get. Like, when you choose the level and you see a little briefing that tells you about it, in the top left of a little screen that will play, it may give you like a few seconds of what the level could look like from a different angle. But then you go into the level, and the level itself is completely different than the level you had an idea that you're going into. And the enemy types, they tell you what enemies you're going to be facing. And holy shit that this game have a lot of enemy types from across the Warhammer lore. You know, from your Chaos Marines to the Tyranids to these fucking Psychers to the Cthulhu looking squid fucks to enemies of Papa Nurgle. It feels like everything is in this game. I wish they would make a online style Warhammer game like this where you create your own character or your own type of Astartes and then you just go out into the galaxy and start going against different enemies alongside players. I know games like Space Hammer 40K what is it? Space Marine 2 and Darktide allow you to do that. But I want something more like this to do it, where you have almost what it feels like the entirety of the Warhammer galaxy at your fingertips on the map. Because, like I said, there is so many places to go. There's so many missions to do that it will extend your playtime to like ungodly levels before you even think you're going to take on the main missions. But it's also wise to go through these missions because you will have better gear by the end of it. You'll level up more effectively. Basically, the game encourages you to explore. And it's optional whether you continue to choose the main campaign or not. You could spend so many hours doing all the side content. And still, there would be so much shit to do before you even hit to do the campaign missions. Beating the game, that's what I like about a game like this. It's not the game deciding when you're going to beat it or when you're going to win, or it moves along and gets you to its finale. This game is entirely up to you, how long you take. And I put beating the game in air quotes because even when you beat the campaign, there's still missions to do around the galaxy that you and your friend will just constantly keep playing it, or you yourself, if you like these kind of Diablo style games, you're just gonna get into it, you're gonna be playing it for hours. I mean, the first time I started playing the game, I didn't realize how many hours went by until I look outside and I see that the sun's already setting. I was like, oh Jesus. And that is a sign of a good game. When you're just sitting there and time is going by and you don't even realize time's going by because you're so invested into the game's world that everything else around you seems to just go together. Everything feels like it's just running together. And I hope that they make a sequel to this game. I know there's so much. I mean, the game is 8 years old, going on 10. It's almost a decade. And if they still feel like they could do more with this game, hey, I'm not going to be upset about it if they do. Hell, if they implemented sequel stuff in this game before they made an actual sequel, I wouldn't get too hung up about it. But I hope that they make a follow-up to this game. Expanded greater, add more players to help you. Like, add more battles and multiplayer based modes besides the co-op. Because this game, you could really get, you could have it to where you can have 3 to 4 people, maybe even 5 Astartes based characters going through levels with even more enemies. Because trust me, there's a lot of enemies to fight. Even when you're by yourself, there's a lot of enemies to go against. And some of them vary in difficulty, and some of them are just a walk in the park. It just depends how strong you made yourself going throughout the course of this game. And personally, for me, I have 3 different characters. I have a Psyker, I have a Techmancer, or whatever they're called, and I have myself a Crusader. And they feel like they are very, each playstyle in the game is very different, very distinctive, and it's up to you to get good with that kind of character, or make that character as strong as you can make it before you decide to create a different character. And if not, you can always go back to the main menu, craft another character to change the builds or to try different builds. Warhammer, to me, has always been, no matter what, every game I've played so far, their customizable options have always been expansive, have always been unique. Like, games where you collect gear or level up to get yourself better, or resource management type style games. Warhammer really can fit in any kind of genre, of game. If you want to make it a horror game, you actually can make it a horror game. There's a lot of enemies in this game that would, make a claustrophobic scenario very horrific and dangerous. It can be done. A lot of these games have horror elements to them, you know, and the enemies can be just downright terrifying. What they do to you, what they can do to you when they catch you, and what's described in the lore is just very, very disturbing of what these enemies can do. But that's the beauty of this war in the Warhammer 40K universe, and that is the beauty of this dark, grim future, is that it doesn't matter what kind of Warhammer fan are you. This game, any Warhammer fan can jump into, and that's what I also like about the Warhammer games. You won't feel lost. You could jump into any Warhammer game, and you could feel like you're playing alongside veterans of the series itself, especially games in Darktide and Space Marine 2. Like, holy shit. This game is what you call a community bringer. It brings its community together whenever there's a new release. And the developers of this series of games always seem to really care about the game they're making. I don't think Warhammer has actually ever had a L game in its library. Now, I could be wrong, so. Anyway, that's it for John Kill 3D Gaming. Be sure to like, subscribe, favorite. Tell me what you think about Inquisitor Martyr. If you own it, let me know in the comments below. And I'll see you all either in the next video or the next live stream. Take care, everyone.